All right. Hello, hello. Oh man. Happy Saturday if you're seeing this. Or in the future if you're watching on a different day. Happy whatever day it is. Just trying to make sure everything's warmed up. Okay, so I was gonna stream yesterday. Um I just didn't really have time, to be completely honest with you. Um I did spend just a little bit of time playing. Nothing too terribly much. Um since last live stream I brought the power from the coal power plant over. And then I ran around long enough to get the Mark One blueprint maker, because I would like to actually sit around and actually make some blueprints today. Secondly, excuse me. Unlike the uh, dimensional depot, and then the production amplifier, and the overclock production. I did all that stuff. It did not. It did not take long. All that being said, so from last time, we're now on phase two. So with phase two unlocked, we did coal power, made the coal power plant, and now we're gonna do. I'm gonna work on vehicle transport. I'll start making some roads. Let's see how that'll turn out. We also need to work on getting modular frames because they're gonna start being huge, and our rotors. But we need to unlock basic steel production to get the rotors going. So I want to work on the transport first because my idea is we have a really good iron node right over here, and if we can just send all the coal over to this plant here, then we can just make everything here, which that would make life 1,000 times easier. I would preferably like to make roads and junctions uh, where they go all the way around the map, and have some sort of functionality to where we can actually uh, have a train network that also goes around the map. So then we have infrastructure no matter where we go, if that makes sense. Anywho, um, what exactly does vehicle transport have in it? Truck station, tractor. Okay, I don't think our blueprint maker is big enough for uh, big enough to have a truck station in it. I may totally be wrong, but we'll find out. But we need some more iron plates and those things. Concrete. So if I remember correctly, modular frames are the bolted iron frames with the iron rods. Sorry, the reinforced iron plate. That's right. Yeah, I went to stream yesterday, but yeah, things just got up, so decided to stream today to kind of make up for it. I'm really trying to work on the building consistency. I think we can actually.
Milestone reached. Tractors permit pioneers to move around the world in a manner similar to using legs, except with wheels and the rampant consumption of natural resources. They can also be automated to self-drive and deliver resources between truck stations, which in turn facilitate automation of loading, unloading, and refueling.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's go ahead and get modular frames built. 'Cause I have a feeling we're gonna need them pretty soon. So I really want to try to use the space that we already have. We're making 30 iron rods per minute. We need 12. Excuse me. We'll just divert this guy. We don't really need that many iron rods per minute anyway. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Yeah, let's do it this way. Then we'll need a so it's, starting to get just a little tight around here. We're just gonna have this look a little jank for the time being. We just really need to get the production up. Starting to get into spaghetti mode on our conveyor belts over here, but that's okay. Almost forgot. Let's get the day to where it's not gonna blind us later. I believe that's gonna work. Oh yeah, definitely gonna work. I like it when a good plan comes together. Okay, that's modular frames completed, so we don't have to do that again. Well, not for some time. So I'd like to start working on doing steel production. Okay. And I'd like to do steel production today, but I'd like to do it up here by our main base. So I see that rotors is going to be our biggest issue. Let me see. So I wish I could wait till the Mark II blueprint designer, because then I can have the blueprints a little more centered, but 4x4 is all we got to work with. So there's two different blueprints that I want to make right now. The first one being a platform for trains later on. I don't have the inverted ramp, do I? Is that an option shop thing? I bet it is. Yep. Maybe. Yes. Yoink. So the big thing about the train is that we really need to have 3 foundations in some way to get up there. But we'll need 3 foundations, one to for one side of the railroad track, and then one for the other, and then preferably a middle ground. I don't think I'll tackle the train just yet. Now that I look at it, because I'm gonna be using a lot of trucks and stuff this playthrough. I think what I'll do is I'll make the assumption that the trucks are going to be, or the roadways need to have at least one foundation in the middle of them. That way there's the ability to have train supports come through. And if I remember, train supports need... I think it's 7. So let's just get something on paper. Something not crooked. And then you have a centerpiece. So actually make this out of the correct material. So like we'll oh, I could have done it through the materials. I forgot that was even a tab. Oh well. Let's see, we could do something kind of like this. I think we'll need to get roadways down first. And then tackle... I think we need to do a temporary road. Yeah, just unfortunately the Mark 1 designer is just not big enough. Also, not having a jetpack really puts a damper on everything. So, okay, let's focus down. Steel production. This is gonna take some time. We need trying to use everything up in these boxes here. How many rotors we got? 38. That's not good. Gonna borrow you. And you. Okay. Yeah, okay. I would go ahead and put stuff in steel production, but I have a feeling that we're going to need to use a lot of these materials. So let's see exactly how we want to do this. Maybe actually have the truck station like up here. We don't necessarily need that generator plant anymore, so we might use it there. Preferably, I'd like to have it over here, because then we could just immediately put our steel production right there. That would be the best course of action, in my opinion, but I don't think our don't think our trucks are going to be able to go through that. You know what? Let's just try. Let's see what happens.
Tractors can use any type of fuel and have a self-driving feature, much like Pioneers, only more reliable. While driving, you can record a path to automate vehicle resource transportation. Unlike early self-driving vehicles, tractors will not spy on you. Your employee data is already fully subject to other means of surveillance.
These things are way smaller than I remember. So is there a way for us to get over here? I'm just looking for a relatively flat area to swing around at. And I think that'll be it right there. Okay, before we continue on here, let's just build a simple path just to get to and fro, just so we don't get any lockups, and then we can also kind of eyeball the situation on just how much pathing we have. Like I mentioned just a second ago, we can do a simple road. Just so we have our pathing just relatively in the right area. So to do that, we're gonna grab as much concrete as we can and just get to town on it. So preferably I'd like the road to be attached to the world grid. Oh, I'll come back to pick that up later. I don't know why I hit tab. I thought that was going to open the menu. Ooh, that's going to be tight. Oops. So preferably it'd be nice if these connected, but I do not have high hopes. Okay, if I can do one more 2mm foundation. I would do just one 4mm, or sorry, one 4-meter foundation here, but I kind of want it spread over the 2 layers, because I didn't want too terribly much clipping like this, but I think this little piece of sand would be fine. Drop some materials off so we can mine up this quartz. And then, like I said, this is going to be a temporary road. Yeah. Okay. I already have a feeling that I'm gonna have to go down one. I might have to go down one more after that as well. Oh, barely went by. That was just mean. So because this is a temporary road, I'm just gonna do enough just to get it to where it's relatively flat ground. I'm not gonna worry too terribly much about paving the whole way there. Customizer, asphalt. What other markings do we have? Center, split. Oh, that's neat. I've never really played with the patterns too terribly much in this game. Funny enough. Not really sure how we're gonna line that up necessarily. That's part of the reason why I wanted things on the world border. This actually does look like a road. Color me impressed. And then we'll remove the there. Okay, not the most pretty in this area, but I believe that's going to give us everything that we need to just get started. Okay, I do think we can just go ahead and get rid of that. It's going to save us a little energy. And I think what we should do is have our area where we do the trucking stations and stuff. How much does the trucking stations do? 120 stacks. 120 stacks per minute. Black vehicles. Okay. So I'm just going to do a simple line of one truck station over here. And then one truck station on the other side, because we don't really have that much coal to work with. See how I want to do this. I definitely want to move it back some. I'm gonna move it over one tile.
Fix-It reminds you to drive vehicles accurately through a truck station's dock area while recording a path. This ensures it will connect properly once everything is automated. The truck station can be set to load or unload, and can also refuel vehicles. Unlike some pioneers, truck stations care about saving humanity.
So I'm not entirely sure. Alright, let's see if this is gonna work. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to do this full speed. That boy's gonna need power, most definitely. That's a cool animation. I've never seen that before. Okay, so that's something to notice, that that rock's not going to be able to be gone around. I think we'll make our second trucking station just over here a little bit. Okay, we have something that works. Is our... Okay, so this coal node's actually available. Okay, so let's get our... We need our trucking station, but we gotta get a few more materials. But yeah, I definitely see why roads are highly needed. Just absolutely getting jostled just about everywhere. Okay, that makes sense. We're gonna have to handcraft the rotors, unfortunately. Also put like ports in there. Did we have any spare screws? Did not look like it. Clear out a little bit of inventory space. The tractor's so tiny. I'm so used to like seeing like the big trucks that just like look almost the exact size as the trucking stations. Also, while driving the tractor back and forth, I'm trying to eyeball what the path really needs to be to avoid obstacles, while also giving a wide enough berth for whatever the backwards path is going to be. So we're about to run out of fuel. And that was all she said. Alright. Back to beating feet. Hmm. think that's gonna be the way to go. We didn't happen to bring enough for a marble miner, did we? I think if we make a portable miner, then we will. Yep. So there's a specific way I want to do this, so let's get rid of that for the time being. Okay, so something that I've learned in my travels is that you really want to have a buffer between your inputs for your stations, because they may not because you can prevent some bottlenecks by doing that. It'd also kind of help if we had priority mergers, or Okay, I don't really think we need this top one right now, because it's maximum 120 items per minute. But we still have to get a Nobelisk detonator to blow up the boulder behind us on the coal node. So what I think I'm going to do is, for the time being, I'm just going to have a container here. So that can do its thing. And then I'll have a splitter here. So then it'll feed coal into the fuel and the thing, and then we still have our buffer here. Yeah, I think this will work for the time being. I could overclock that to get 120 out now, but to be honest with you, I don't really think that's gonna be a necessity. If not, I can come back and fix it really quickly. Customizer. Okay. While that fills up, So we set this to load. And I need to go to the other one. So I really wanted to fill this one up so we have a surplus going on. I already know that he was going to screw up all their stuff later on. Okay, and we set this guy to unload. Okay. So the route we're going to want to take, I kind of want to do right-hand drive. So we'll come in, and we'll go that way through here, unload, go back up that way, and then go back to the loader. Alright, let's hopefully not take 18 kajillion tries. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, with the iron, we might not need to make a new iron node, drill into a new iron node, because we still have one smelter of iron that we have not used, so that's 30 iron ore per minute that we're still not using. And if I remember correctly, it's 45 iron ore per minute that needs to be used. So, just to get something running, I think we can do just the just the one. Just to get our machines going. Alright, I'm going to steal some of this coal. And we are going to record. And we already screwed up. Alright, there we go. Alright. Start recording. We're paused here. Try to give it a wide berth. think we're only going to have one tractor on this line, so it should technically be fine. Yeah, I am focusing this down hard. My palms are sweaty. Yeah, we'll just do one tractor's worth. It should be able to carry enough cargo for us, especially because we're only doing not too terribly much coal per minute. Okay. Can I edit the path? I just realized I just got an achievement for getting knocked over. I just realized I haven't done that at all before. It's gonna be sad if I have to do this again, because I didn't press the load and unload. actually kind of fun. Not intended. I don't know if anybody saw that there, but the toes were going hard. Whoa! That was sick. Holy man. Man, this thing's flying. This is so cool to watch. It's actually not an insignificant amount of coal just for waiting for it to drive around. Alright, well, I've seen it load and unload, so I'm happy. Loop works. Now with the loop working, now we can start on steel production. In previous playthroughs, I would just make my steel production down in the hole over there near the coal power plant, but I didn't want to do that this time because I had a feeling that just having some sort of trucking system. Just bring it over so everything's all at one place. There was a lot of running around that was wasting a lot of time. So I figured it'd be easier just to build this, which, looking at the timing that we're going on right now, yeah, this was the better decision. So this will just bring the coal over, and if we need the iron from over there, we have plenty of iron over here. So I'm not terribly worried about it, and we can amp up production, put more trucks on the line, you know, all kinds of different things. Like, there's easier ways to do it than just running around willy-nilly all the time. So this helps out a ton. Forgot how loud that truck is. Did I freak it out? I freaked it out, didn't I? Go on, little buddy. Oh man, that was funny. Okay, that's copper. Let's work on our steel. So we need, basically we have everything automated except for rotors. So let's fix that. Here's some wood. Get that going. Do a little inventory management real quick. Okay, we need iron rods, and with the iron rods, we're going to make. So we need 150 rotors. We have one, so we need 149, and it's 149 times 25. Oh god, it's gonna be a lot. Oh, 25, not 125. Whoops. That gives us 3,725. We do not have enough. Still, we must continue. Well, while this goes on, so I decided to that today I'm just gonna do a very short stream. I got some other things I gotta do today. But I did want to make up for not streaming yesterday, because I said in my previous streams that I would. I'm trying to keep consistent, nonetheless. But progress report on the stuff that I've been doing. I am completely new to the scene of like doing any content creation whatsoever. Completely new. Outside of watching videos on YouTube, that's pretty much about it. I never really dug into like video editing or creating images with Photoshop or stuff like that. But I decided, you know what, it'd be a good fun project to work on. Try it out. Streaming's been fun so far. I figured that was probably the easiest to get into first. But this has been pretty fun. A lot to learn though. I've messed around with GIMP, which is and if you don't know what GIMP is, it's the free open source alternative for Photoshop. I've been messing around with it. That's been pretty fun. But I feel comfortable enough that I can probably Google my way through. Like if I wanted to make any sort of image or something like that, then I can, you know, work my way through it. If you check out the banners for the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel, then you'll notice that even my, well, not the profile icon, but you'll notice that the picture, there's two spacemen hanging out. It's that meme of like, wait, it's been this, it always has been. You know, that meme. I took that meme template and, you know, photoshopped my profile icon in there and stuff like that. Just to get the hang of it. So that was cool. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I did find out that YouTube banners are really freaking weird. You know, those are some really oddball dimensions for stuff. So if it looks kind of jank, that's why. Now when it gets to editing videos, now that's going to be, you know, that's a little bit of a hurdle that I'm trying to figure out at the time. So what I have learned is that the resolution of your monitor greatly impacts the resolution of what your video is going to be. Me being a OCD perfectionist, I really want to make it 4K video, because I just kind of figured that's the going standard pretty much. And I just think it 4K video, like I can tell a difference on YouTube when I watch videos that are 1080p versus 4K. I can definitely tell the difference. So and upscaling from 1080p to 4K, I tried that a little bit on my off time. I'm not necessarily the most happy about that, about the way that it looks. I really want to get it to where it's natural 4K. So there's no upscaling needed to be done to upload it. However, that also does pose a different thing. So eventually I'll show my face to the wider internet, because I do want to start posting like actual YouTube videos, because right now on the YouTube channel all I have is you know, the previous streams, like these streams that I upload to YouTube, just so they're there more for archival purposes, really, of the VODs, and just so they're nice to have. But I'll be I just wanted to have them as content material, I guess is the best way to say it. Anyway, just for future purposes, because knowing me, as soon as I don't go and save those VODs, then they'll actually be needed later on down the line. For But yeah, so for like a camera and stuff, you know, I have a way to get 4K video out of a camera, which is really cool. But I've learned now that, you know, you really do need some processing power to edit 4K video, and I don't really plan on doing like a lot of editing. I'm kind of a simplistic guy. I really want simplicity. Heck, I don't have any stream elements or anything, you know, on the screen or a face cam or none of that. That's doing a little too much in my opinion. I really like simple. Anyway, going off on a tangent. I have a way to record 4K video, but the problem that I am seeing is that I don't necessarily have a decent way to edit that 4K video, if that makes sense. I really have to work on a laptop to edit, and I've since learned that people use their desktops mainly to edit. But the problem is if I'm not really here streaming and or, you know, just trying to relax, you know, one of those two things, I'm not really on this computer at all, and this is my powerful computer that is free and open to actually edit. But my big thing is I don't use this computer for work purposes or anything that I would consider like work or projects or something like that. I keep this computer strictly for gaming, and that's pretty much it. Do a lot of my like side project work and stuff on a laptop outside the house, you know, away from home. So I really do need to have some sort of way of being able to edit on the go, which I have also learned is very pricey. So all that being said, like right now, so I kind of have a hodgepodge of monitors. I'm actually using a TV as one of my monitors. I only have two. And for personal use, that has completely been non-issue for the time being. However, I have been noticing that OBS really does not like the way that I have my monitor setups, and also I really want the better quality, to be honest. And I'm not worried about that price and stuff. That's probably going to get ordered today. A new monitor. The big thing that's going to be hitting me the most is the ability to edit at a higher the higher resolutions, which I've learned of proxy clips and stuff like that. You know, being able to edit at a lower resolution and then coming back and editing and then it going back and stitching it together in the higher resolution video. I tried that. So I have two different laptops that I use. I have a MacBook from 2019, the M1 processor, which M1 I love that. I love that computer so much. I have done way too much crap on that computer. I use it, but however, I got the starter grade of it, and so, you know, 8 gigs of RAM and like a 256 gig hard drive, which that computer, that was my first laptop that I bought myself with big boy money, and I saved up for it. And that laptop actually carried me through uh, a lot of stuff. Um, it carried me through my master's degree. On the other hand, though, I do have a hodgepodge together laptop that I'm running Fedora Linux on. However, it's even older than the MacBook, and the original purpose of that laptop was not to be editing or anything. It was no joke, just for checking emails and stuff. So that's not. I don't necessarily have anything that fits all my criteria just yet. As the time of me sitting here and yapping, Apple came out with the M5 MacBooks like earlier this week, and I was looking at those, and good grief, I spent a couple $100 on the MacBook back in the day, because I think the M2 processor was out when I bought the M1 processor. But dude, it's off the chain. It's like getting a MacBook that just has just a decent amount of hardware to just push, just to get like decent video editing, like getting decent storage, and just getting decent storage and, like, a decent amount of RAM. It's just, it's kind of mind-boggling, right? They want, okay, that was the Sam node. Okay, whew. My heart dropped for a second. We need 25 of these. Add to do list. There you go. Okay. Now we know when to stop. But yeah, they're wanting like $3 grand, which is kind of insane, to think about. $3 grand for a laptop. I remember back in the day, I went and bought when I was in college. Oh dang, I just brought back a lot of memories. Okay, so the MacBook wasn't the first computer that, or laptop that I bought. The first laptop that I bought with my own money that wasn't a hand-me-down laptop was a Lenovo Yoga. Back when they had the folding design. I think I still have that laptop around here somewhere. But you could fold it back and it'd be a tablet or something. I didn't really use it for that. But I used that Lenovo Yoga, and I went to Office Depot or Office Max, one of those office supply stores. I went and bought it off the shelf for like $250, something like that. Real cheap. I went and bought that, and that wasn't necessarily very long ago. I hope it wasn't long ago. It was in the late 2010s. I know that. At least past 2015. But like I used that Yoga, and that got me through undergrad. But that Yoga, it was a cheap laptop, but it did die. Yeah, it did die on me. It didn't last necessarily very long. it crapped out on me after like year 2 or 3. The screen just went bust on it, which, you know, you kind of expect out of a Yoga, the early model Yogas. So quiet without the banging. I didn't really get a good impression. I wasn't as in tune with the happenings of the computer space. Oh my lord.
Milestone reached. Coal and iron can be combined in the foundry to start steel production. Project part number 2, the versatile framework, can only be created via automation, not at a crafting bench. Delivering these to the space elevator is essential if we are going to complete phase 2 of project assembly and save the day. Fix It and humanity is relying on you.
Okay, that was really loud. I don't know if it was loud on your end. I'll find out later. But anyway, I wasn't really big into the computer space as much as I am now. I was really kind of shut away for the first part of college, and for the first part of my like actual career. It wasn't until later where, you know, I had some more freedoms that I started really like delving into computers. I built my first desktop computer, which, have mercy on that thing. I actually still use some of those components in a different computer. But back then, you know, back then it just wasn't. It just wasn't top of my priority list. I didn't really have a lot of tech influence in my life. But things have definitely changed since then. But things have been fun. We've come a long way. I know for a fact we're not gonna stop moving forward on stuff. But honestly, I just need to get this iron over here. So my plan is to I need to do a conveyor belt hold there. And we'll do a storage container here. There you go. Alright, so that's our coal and our iron. And that should make us at least some steel. Moving on from that, so we need steel beams and steel pipe. So we need to knock this down to 50, or 50%. So that's going to take 15, and then we're going to need to knock this down to a fourth. So that's 25%. There you go. Okay, that's going to make steel beams at a very slow pace. Well, both of those resources at a really slow pace, but it's the best we can do with the materials that we got going on. If we need to ramp up production later, that I can. I'm not necessarily worried about it at the time being. We just need to actually make something. Okay. So first off, we need to split this. And just get that rolling. We probably could bump this up to full percentage because we're not really using 30 of the iron. So, I don't know. We'll do full percentage, see how it goes. So, with 45 going, we're taking 15 here, so we can do 30 here. So, we can bump this up to 50%. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. So that should work out for us. Now the question is how in the world am I gonna get it over there? I have an idea. But it ain't gonna be pretty. Yeah, this definitely ain't gonna look pretty. A truck freaked me out for a sec, or a tractor freaked me out for a second. I forgot it even existed, to be honest with you. Good enough. Alright, we have steel pipes and steel beams automated to some degree. Alright. What else do we need? We don't necessarily need this, but the inventory slots would be nice. And we have everything automated. 2, 4, 6. Just one of these, and then copper.
Milestone reached. The Xeno Basher is a direct upgrade from the Xeno Zapper. In the words of the engineer that first developed this tool, quote, "The Zapper kind of electrocutes things, the Basher straight up smacks stuff, while also electrocuting them," unquote. It is beneficial during encounters with aggressive fauna and has been tested thoroughly. The engineer's noble sacrifice for Xeno research will not be forgotten, whoever they were.
Nice. Okay. So tier 3 is done. Tier 4 we're looking at. This would be where we could make conveyor belts with the steel beams and everything. Advanced. See, in case industrial beams will be very helpful. Because that's Mark 4 logistics use those. Mark 2 miner would also be very helpful. Okay, talking about these power towers and stuff. I know electricity can be sent through rail lines. You can run street lamps on roadways, different stuff like that. However, I would like to accommodate running power towers around, and also having just like a legitimate hypertube system, because we could use this to create a hypertube cannon to get around the map a lot faster. However, I do want to incorporate both of these two things into actual infrastructure, because even though the hypertube cannon can work, I could just be in transit with a hypertube and then go AFK just for a second. More of a quality of life type deal. We do need to work on this, which, speaking of which, we need to do get the steel rotor recipe. So let's work on the steel rotor recipe while, for the time being, and then we'll work on this. The industrial storage also will help out a lot. But Bam's over here. So we're gonna save game here. Actually, let's let that guy land first, and then we'll save, and then we'll start. So we're gonna save scum a little bit to get the steel rotor recipe. I already have hard drives that have been unlocked, but we're gonna get this save scum to see if we can get the recipe. So automated miner is actually nice. I'm actually gonna get that one. See, I thought about using the solid steel ingot, and we can do that because that makes 60 per minute, and that makes our numbers a lot easier. Do I want to get that? Let's do our due diligence. Let's look. Steel rod, steel frame, coke steel ingot, solid steel ingot. So it's a little more efficient. Not by much. Definitely not by much. So I'll say we'll let's grab it. Screw it. We got others. Well, never mind. Didn't even need a save scum. But yeah, so the steel rotor just takes copper wire and a steel pipe. And that's all it needs. Yeah, that's actually perfect. I'm gonna leave that there. So speaking of this guy right here, what just happened there? I already have him summer slooped, and I ran some biomass through him so he's primed. So you have to run through one iteration with the summer sloop in before it'll start duplicating stuff. So now that it's, you know, been primed, then, you know, it'll start, it'll duplicate whatever I start putting in there. Which that's just nice to have. And we need enough for 4 rotors. We just need one assembler. Perfect. Okay. So just looking at the assembler for the steel rotor. So it's going to take 10 steel pipes and 30 wire. 30 wire, this is definitely not bad because I think, don't we have extra wire? So we have this wire going into that guy. We have this wire just being produced into cable, and then we have 2 here going into just wire production. So we can actually split this guy, take this guy off and merge him with the steel pipe. And that should give us enough for our rotor. So, and I think we're making enough steel pipe for our rotors. To make rotors and still be making pipes. We need 10 steel pipes per minute, and I think we're making. Are we making the 20? I'm pretty sure we're making 20. We're making 10. Exactly 10. That's not good. How's the resources looking here, Chief? Speed that up a little bit. So we have theoretically 60 coal to work with, but the tractor's burning some as it goes along. So I could overclock it. Yeah, our irons are limited resource, especially because I took some iron plates out, so it's gonna rework itself, and also the iron rods. Yeah, we're gonna get bottlenecks going through here relatively soon, so we really do need to have the steel pipes on board. So we need to knock this deck back down to 25%. Steel beams are going to be very useful, but at the same time, we really need the steel pipes. Actually, if we can do, if we do 15 per minute, that gives us 22.5, and it's 45 minus 22.5. That's exactly half. That's actually kind of nuts. So 22.5, 4-to-1 ratio. So 22.5 divided by 4 is 5.625. 5.625. Perfect. Okay, so this is balanced out, so it's no joke taking 50-50. So that's good. So this gives us 5 steel pipe per minute to go back towards storage. And then that also gives us 10 steel pipe that we can use for the steel rotors. So we're gonna yoink him. We're gonna adjust you. So we need to do a 2 going straight, 5 going, or we're gonna do a splitter. That splitter is gonna immediately go into a merger. So 2 inputs are gonna go there. And then you are going to go that way. So this splits the 15 up evenly into 5. So 10 is going to go this way and 5 is going to go that way. So then we get our assembler out. Lord knows how we're going to set that up. I think we just need to build it over here. Honestly. I think that would be easier. What we'll do here, steel rotor, like so. Find another power pole. Hey, what's up? Didn't see you there. I was sitting there focusing down what I was doing. Doing good, though. Thanks for asking. How's it going on your end? Okay, so I'm gonna move. The reason why I did it up here is because we're not gonna have any. Honestly, I don't care about the clipping at this point. We just need to get it moved over here. Logistics, purple. Yeah, that kind of. That's the first time I've been called American. I appreciate it. I usually get called a redneck. But yeah, I'm American. What about you? I sure hope I'm from the USA. Well, hold on, wait a minute. That's loaded nowadays, to be completely honest with you. Oh, that's cool. The other day, I had a guy from Denmark and a guy from Brazil. It's Saturday, so no work for me. Actually, funny enough, I don't usually, well, I've only been streaming for a week, but I wasn't really planning on doing a stream today, but I didn't end up streaming yesterday because of family business. I work every day. Well, except for weekends. Streaming's more of a hobby at this point, really. What about, yeah, what about you? What you up to, man? No obligations to follow or anything. I'm just here for a good time, really. Mainly the yap. I talk to myself mostly at this point. Oh, self-employed. That's cool. Don't mind me asking, what do you do? Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but... Oh, graphics design. Well, I can go ahead and tell you, I have mad respect for graphics design. You missed a rant that I was talking to myself about. I'm just now learning GIMP and everything, because I'm too poor for Photoshop. But, yeah, I've been learning about video editing and stuff like that, so, you know, I understand, you know, a little bit, just enough to know that I don't really know anything about it, to be honest. Yeah, I've like watched some YouTube videos and stuff about like how, you know, how graphic design works and everything, and I had always heard since I was younger that, you know, graphic design takes a lot of time, you know, the bigger projects you get, and now I actually understand what people were talking about now, because, you know, I did just for like editing and stuff, like a picture, it took like forever just to do it. Well, hey man, I appreciate the vote of confidence and everything. You know, I am really trying to start out small. Funny enough, my my coworker was the one that told me about, you know, giving it a try. Yeah, yeah, seriously, I was looking at other channels that I watch, and people have like some really top-notch banners and stuff, and I'm like, and now that I've like created a few photos of my own, just like very minimal stuff, I see now like why there's, you know, editors in the space and graphic designers, you know, the whole 9 yards. Like I see why there's jobs available for that stuff, because man, I couldn't imagine having to. Well, I can't imagine having to do that all day. Seems like a fun dig, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what first impressions. Yeah, the first impressions thing. Funny enough, my route for impressions is, you know, I'm here for a good time. If you want to stop by and talk, you know, absolutely fantastic, but keep expectations low. Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. I wanted to put my my profile icon in my banner, and just learning how to get like a square image to be rounded, to where, you know, it's just like a circle, just like your profile icon is, took just absolutely forever. Yeah, I figured out how to do it, but then to get it to like just get it to move accurately was just just pain in the butt. The game's about to start yapping over me, so I'm gonna be quiet just for a second. I just picked up everything like a numbskull.
Milestone reached. Improved storage containers and the conveyor belt Mark III provide the obviously necessary tools for improving your current setup. Production speed is of the essence after all. So work hard. Work as if every person you have ever or will ever love is depending solely on the choices that you make. Because they are. Warning. Fix-it psychologists recommend not dwelling on the crushing mental and physical strain of your responsibilities and simply continuing to be productive. Hard work has repeatedly proven to be the best cure for any kind of stress. Now back to work.
Okay, literally. Man, I appreciate the offer and everything to make something, but I'm kind of stubborn in a way that I don't really want to, you know, get somebody to work on something, because I don't know. Number one, I don't necessarily have a direction right now that I necessarily want to go. I'm just doing it for the experience at this point. And two, if you did something like I'd want to like pay for the service and stuff, but right now I'm not really at a point just yet, because at the end of the day, this isn't necessarily about the money and stuff at the time. It's more about, you know, just hanging out, really. But I appreciate the offer, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, but in all seriousness, though, it's like that type of stuff doesn't necessarily help point in a direction and stuff. I don't take this necessarily too seriously. But once again, I appreciate the offer, though. Anyway, besides that, I don't really have too much else planned for the rest of this stream. I really wanted to just get my production going and everything, but hey, man, thank you for stopping in and everything, and I appreciate the offers and stuff, but it's about time for me to hop off because I got some other stuff to do for the rest of the day. So, I hope you have a good one.